Hello and welcome back to another video in this series on learning Java. And today we are talking about objects and classes. To start with, I'm going to try to represent a person or some things about a person. So I have a client named Amanda, and I want to know some stuff about her. So first, let's take an object, a string, to get her name. That seems important. I'll put Amanda in that name. Well, just her name isn't very helpful, so we want to get some other information about her. Let's say I want to know her age. So age, and let's say she's 20 years old. Okay, we can make some more things. Let's say we want to know favorite number. Let's say that's 576. Again, making him a number. I could go on and list more things about this person, but this is going to be helpful for us. I've got a few pieces of information about Amanda. Let's say now that I want to tell the user what I have so far. I'm going to print. I'm going to write in the names of these variables instead of the values, but then I could reuse this code. So name of the person is, nope, I want spaces around this. Remember that the plus doesn't add spaces for us, so we need to put in the spaces ourselves if we want to see those spaces. Then age, remember that I can add a number to a string, and it'll concatenate like a string. It won't try to add the blank numbers. Then old, their favorite number is, and then I'm going to put a period in a sentence. It's really common when you write things like this to not have a period. You just forget it though. I forget from my plugin. Okay, so print Amanda is 20 years old. Their favorite number is 76. It's kind of long, but that's what I've got, and I want to be able to say all the information about this person and what it actually is. I could just list all of it, but then the user has no idea what they're seeing. Okay, so I've got one person, but other people are probably going to be using this system, whatever I have that's storing this information. So I need to make more things. Let's say I have another person named, nope, not string, named Barry. Well, I can't use name again because name is already defined. You can see that if I do this, it's going to give me an error saying, duplicate local variable name. I need to give it a different name. Let's call it name 2 because I'm not feeling creative. I want to get Barry's age as well. Barry is 60 years old. And favorite number 2. Barry's favorite number is 2401. Now I'm going to copy in this line of code. I wrote it in a way that makes it really easy to reuse. I just have to change the names of these variables. And this is going to print exactly what I want it to print because all of the text is the same and the variable stuff I just changed. So now this says Barry is 60 years old. Their favorite number is 2401. You might be thinking, I'm trying to do the same thing multiple times, and I just said that I made a string or a line of code that is intentionally replaceable. It seems like there might be a way to make this faster, and there is. I'm going to go up here, above the main method. This code is running. Like the method we saw in the last video, it's going to run when it's called. We don't actually call it, and I'll talk about that at the end of the video, what this method is doing. But I don't want this code to run normally when we try to run the program. I just want to state it so that the other code can reference it. This is called a class. So I start it with class. It's kind of like a variable declaration. Because I don't give it a value, it's going to look a little bit different. Classes always start with a capital letter. All variables start with a lowercase letter. Classes start with a capital letter. Then I put the code of my class inside curly brackets. I'm going to use a bunch of the things that I just used. String name. I'm not going to declare these variables, and there's a reason for that. I want to use them differently. I'm going to just let them be there, because every person is going to have a different name. If I declare it in here, then every person has the same name. I want this to be reusable. Age and int favorite number, all exactly the same of the stuff we just used. And then I'm going to create a method, the same as the method we saw in the last video. Last video. And I'm going to write this line of code. So this is a click method, returning nothing. I'm going to call it info about the person. It takes no arguments. It's just running that same line of code. And this name, age, and favorite number, we took no arguments, but they're defined up here. Now we haven't actually given them values, but we will give them values. When we call this method, they're going to have values. I'm going to now remake Amanda, but as an object. An object is an implementation of a class. It is a collection of different data that has a name and a value. The names are usually called keys. So first, I want to create an object of type person named Amanda. Just like a string or int, we put the data type first and then the name of the variable. It's just that this data type person, we just defined it up here instead of it being part of the language. Equals new means we're making a new object, and we put the name of the class again. There is a reason for this. We'll talk about it in the next video. For now, it's class. We need the class name again in parentheses, kind of like a method. Now, if I tried to print Amanda.name right now, okay, first, what did I just do? This dot means take Amanda, an object, and find the property with the name. That's kind of confusing, but I have a variable inside the class, so that becomes a property of the object, or a key, right? Yeah. And corresponding to that key is a value. I want to know what that value is. Well, I haven't given it a value. This is just going to be null, because we never gave it anything. It has nothing to work with. So I'm going to define our values, because right now we don't have any. We have an empty slots with names. I'm going to give Amanda a name. Well, I already have her information, so I'm just going to fill this in. Put in the property name with a string Amanda. Property age, number 20. Property favorite number with the value 576. Now I could write out this line of code again, but I shorthanded it by putting it inside the class in this method called info. Again, I have to call the object, and an object can have methods. So I do Amanda.info, and that says call this method info for the object called Amanda. Name, age, and favorite number, we just defined them. It's using those values because those are part of the object. And it's going to return the same thing as this down here. It does exactly the same thing, it's just more concise because I've already defined what it is. I could go through this process again and make Barry as one of these objects. But as you can see, I had to basically write out these variables again because I haven't defined them up here. So I haven't really saved myself much time by making an object and then having to fill in all these properties. So we're going to see in the next video how to make this a lot shorter. Now, just to finish this up, we just introduced classes and methods. We've been using this line and this line a lot without explaining what they do. This line at the top of every file I've used so far says public class and then a name. In Java, every file you make has to be a class. You have to put all of your code inside a class. So we start with class, and we have the name of the class, which has to be the same as the name of the file. It's the video on objects, and I have the F here so that they sort in the right order, so that I do them correctly. So that's what I call this, and then all of my code goes inside this class. This is a method, I think I talked about this last time. I called it main, it takes no arguments, and it returns no outputs, so it's void. And again, all of our code is inside curly brackets. That's it for this video, and I'll see you next time.